All right, great. So, hi, Ed Rogers, Bonumose Biochem, happy to be here. Our company has a breakthrough in the production of rare, healthy sugars such as tagatose. And this is good news for good sugar. Happy to talk to you about it. Dr. Dan Wichelecki is the inventor of our process. Dan and I worked together for about 6 months before forming Bonumose to commercialize his invention. We have relevant technical and business experience, relevant education, as well as the work ethic to pursue this opportunity. And we're very pleased that Mike Golombieski from Tate & Lyle Ingredients has joined our strategic advisory board and is playing a key role. So we pretty much know that that sugar is bad for us, that traditional sugar is bad for us, diabetes, obesity, etc. Yet we love sugar. In fact, author Gary Taubes says that love and sugar are practically synonymous. So it's a huge market. Well, tagatose is good sugar. Tagatose is naturally occurring. It occurs in fruits and grains and dairy, but in tiny quantities. It's been on the market for about 15 years, but it's very high cost. It's been studied for about 30 years, so there's proof for all the properties that I'll discuss. From a taste and food functionality standpoint, it's nearly indistinguishable from sucrose. Compared to a high-intensity sweetener such as stevia, it has the bulk that stevia does not. It does not suffer from bitterness or off taste, and it also blends extremely well with high-intensity sweeteners to balance out their taste. From a health perspective, it is low glycemic. It will not raise blood sugar levels. It has actually gone through phase 3 clinical trials that proves that it reduces blood sugar in diabetics. It's low calorie, it's safe for teeth, and it's a prebiotic, so it feeds the good gut bacteria. It's more like fiber in your body, and it contributes to satiety. So this is the important point. Tagatose is not only not bad for you, it's actually good for you. Now, the current price is high, so that makes it more of a niche product. We can slash the cost by 80%, and we can do this because we have advantages in feedstock cost, in processing conditions, as well as yields. And our yields are so high that we can completely eliminate an expensive downstream processing step. So this allows tagatose, I can't even pronounce it, tagatose to be affordable for widespread use among all categories of foods and beverages. And so this is our secret sauce. We have a multi-step enzymatic process. With most enzymatic processes, you have an equilibrium reached between the reactant and the final product. But in our case, our final step is irreversible. So it's like going over a waterfall, and it creates the extremely high yields. And this is the breakthrough. And this is the breakthrough that's on its way to broad global patent coverage. And it's more than that. By tweaking the last couple of enzymes, we can produce other healthy sugars that have interesting properties, and we can do so at low cost. So tagatose will be sold to food and beverage manufacturers, pretty much anything that has sucrose or high fructose corn syrup. We've refined our business model over the course of 12 months in discussions with potential strategic partners on 4 continents. We are not going to have a pure licensing model. We intend to control manufacturing, preferably with strategic investors such as those that have the feedstock, so we can drive the cost down even further. When it comes to sales, we'll probably go to market through established food ingredient companies. But we have the opportunity to adopt different strategies depending on the product, depending on the final use, and depending on the geography. So we have a flexible model. And finally, we are raising capital. We want to scale up. We're having very promising discussions with multiple strategic investors, potential strategic investors, as well as financial investors that have a knowledge of this space. And in closing, I just want to say that, in my opinion, in our opinion, the opportunity, the affordability, the availability of affordable, healthy, great-tasting sweeteners is not something that is niche. It is not a fad. Tagatose by itself has all the makings of a blockbuster ingredient, and our technology is scalable. So it's no secret that there's an enormous problem in the world with linked to excess consumption of sugars, diabetes, obesity, tooth decay, etc. No secret at all. Yet there's an enormous appetite for sweet things. So if we execute on this right, we have an enormous opportunity to dramatically affect public health and private wealth. So Thank you for letting me share the story.
We have 2 minutes of questions.
I can speak loud. So large food and beverage manufacturers are currently reformulating their products.
Right.
Despite no real science behind this, that there's a threat, but due to consumer pressure to produce a clean label. What would this look like on a label for a food manufacturer?
Yeah, so good question, probably longer than a 2-minute answer, but our preference is to have it be listed as tagatose on the list of ingredients. We don't want to come up with some cute name. I think consumers are jaded by cute names. There is an issue about how it has to be listed on the nutrition facts label. Under the current regs, it would have to be listed under added sugars or total sugars. I'm pretty confident we can get the FDA to give us an exemption and possibly even have it listed as fiber. So we're going to work on that. It's a matter of resource allocation right now, which is hint for time and money.
Time for another question. Brad, back here.
Kind of two related questions. One is it a fermentation? And two, is there any sort of a regulatory path that you have to go through before it can be marketed?
Okay, so first question, no, it's not fermentation, it's enzymatic. And second question is tagatose is already GRAS, already generally recognizable as safe by the FDA. Now, because our process is different, we will have to go through GRAS, but our regulatory consultant says that that's basically a Me Too submission, so it's not, it's like falling off of a log. It's not going to be a difficult process.
One final quick question.
Here's one.
Where is it sourced from? How do you source the material?
Yes, you mean the feedstock that we use to make tagatose?
Yes.
So it's starch, so it can come from any plant, corn, potato, rice, tapioca, any starch. So our plan is to get the least expensive starch. There are some GMO issues that come into play there with corn in particular, but we've had some interesting discussions with some some potato starch producers that is not GMO. So any starch, and it's available across the world. All right, thank you.